Taste the Mediterranean through March 19th at Whole Foods Market. Save on animal welfare certified bone and beef short ribs, sustainable wild-caught sockeye salmon, and more. Find sales on Parmigiano Reggiano, charcuterie and ground lamb. Grab an olive boule bread from the bakery. Plus, wines from the Mediterranean start at just $8.99. Taste the Mediterranean now at Whole Foods Market. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
How do you feel great on vacation? Like really good? Easy. You go to Aruba. You'll spend your time relaxing on cool white sand beaches and floating in healing blue water. You'll immerse yourself in natural wonder and find your center on an island where things move at your speed. You won't just feel great, you'll feel relaxed, renewed, and ready for life. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your trip at Aruba.com.
This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 2475. Almond butter versus peanut butter. Which is healthier? By Natalie Butler with Healthline.com. And I'm Dr. Neil Malik. Welcome back to another episode of Optimal Health Daily. This is where I read to you from some of the best health and fitness blogs on the web, kind of like an ongoing audiobook, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. And with that, let's get right to the post as we optimize your life. Almond butter versus peanut butter. Which is healthier? By Natalie Butler with Healthline.com. Both peanut butter and almond butter contain a similar amount of nutrients, though peanut butter is typically higher in protein. Almond butter often contains a high amount of vitamins and minerals. Peanut butter has been a staple in the American pantry for decades, but lately, other types of nut butter, such as almond butter, are starting to gain in popularity. This recent trend in the nut butter market raises the question, which nut butter is the healthiest? While the price of almond butter is typically higher than the price of peanut butter, does that mean it's healthier? When faced with so many options, making the healthy choice isn't usually crystal clear. We'll break down the nutritional content of both almond and peanut butter to determine which one has the bigger health advantage. Just remember, it's the whole package of nutrients, not just one or two, that determines how good a food is for your health. Almond butter versus peanut butter. Nutritional comparison. For a quick answer, both nut butters do have similar nutritional value. Almond butter is slightly healthier than peanut butter because it has more vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Both nut butters are roughly equal in calories and sugar, but peanut butter has a little more protein than almond butter. Calories. Most nuts and nut butters are about the same in terms of calories per ounce. 2 tablespoons of either peanut butter or almond butter contains just under 200 calories. So if your main concern is with calories, there's really no difference. However, all nut butters are considered high in calories relative to other foods, so be careful with how much you're spreading on your toast. Winner? It's a tie. Healthy fats. Almost all types of nuts contain a large amount of fat, but that doesn't mean they are bad for you. The type of fat is the most important factor to consider, and this is where almond butter has a slight edge over its peanut counterpart. Both almond butter and peanut butter are high in monounsaturated fat, the type of fat linked to a reduction in heart disease and better blood sugar control. Nonetheless, a 2 tablespoon serving of almond butter contains roughly 25% more monounsaturated fat than the same amount of peanut butter. A serving of peanut butter also has over twice as much saturated fat as a serving of almond butter. While saturated fat isn't necessarily harmful in moderation, too much of it can raise your cholesterol, which can increase your risk for cardiovascular disease. Winner? Almond butter. Vitamins and minerals. Almond butter is the front runner again once you look more closely at the vitamin and mineral content. It contains nearly 3 times as much vitamin E, twice as much iron, and 7 times more calcium than peanut butter. As an antioxidant, vitamin E helps stop the development of plaque in your arteries, which can narrow them and eventually cause a heart attack. Calcium supports the health of your bones, and iron is essential for your red blood cells. Peanut butter isn't necessarily lacking in vitamins and minerals. It has plenty of vitamin E, calcium, and iron too. It just doesn't have quite as much as almond butter. Both peanut butter and almond butter contain a healthy dose of potassium, biotin, magnesium, and zinc. The winner? Almond butter. Fiber. Fiber makes you feel full faster, which may help you maintain a healthy weight. It also helps lower your cholesterol. Luckily, all nuts contain fiber. When it comes to fiber content, almond butter once again comes out on top compared to peanut butter. 2 tablespoons of almond butter has roughly 3.3 grams of fiber, while 2 tablespoons of peanut butter has just 1.6 grams. The winner? Almond butter. Protein. Nut butters are a great source of vegetable protein. As it turns out, peanut butter has a small lead over almond butter in terms of protein content. There are 6.7 grams of protein in a serving of almond butter and 7.1 grams of protein in a serving of peanut butter. In comparison, 1 large egg has just over 6 grams of protein. The winner? Peanut butter. Sugar. This is where it gets tricky. While almond butter has less sugar, natural almond butter and peanut butter are both fairly low in sugar overall. Be aware, however, that some brands of nut butters are sweetened with added sugar. Whatever nut butter you decide on, aim for the natural version. In other words, check the ingredients label and make sure sugar isn't on it. Winner? It's a tie. What the research says. Research has shown time and again that people who regularly include nuts or nut butters in their diets are less likely to have heart disease or type 2 diabetes than those who don't eat nuts regularly. Research also suggests that regular consumption of nuts doesn't contribute to obesity, despite the fact that nuts are high in calories. Most studies find that the type of nut or nut butter doesn't matter. For example, a study conducted in over 6,000 women with type 2 diabetes found that eating 5 or more servings of either nuts or peanut butter per week significantly lowered the risk of cardiovascular disease. The takeaway. On a strictly nutritional basis, the verdict is that almond butter is healthier than peanut butter, but only by a bit. Given that almond butter is a harder hit on your wallet, unless you have a special preference for almonds, peanut butter is still an excellent healthy choice. If you're really not sure, alternating between the two is a perfectly reasonable solution. Just remember to choose a nut butter that doesn't have any added sugar, partially hydrogenated oils, also known as trans fats, or artificial ingredients. The label should have just one ingredient, peanuts or almonds, and maybe a pinch of salt. As with any type of food, moderation is key. If you're convinced that almond butter is the way to go, or want to experiment with the vast array of nut butters available, you can try making your own in a food processor, or buying in bulk online to cut down on costs. You just listened to the post titled Almond Butter versus Peanut Butter, Which is Healthier? By Natalie Butler with Healthline.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. Now, what about this idea that peanut butter is pro-inflammatory, meaning it increases inflammation throughout the body? This is not true. First, let's remember that inflammation throughout the body is a bad thing. It means the body is under stress. Long-term stress or long-term inflammation increases the risk of many diseases from head to toe, like dementia, cardiovascular disease, cancer, arthritis, and so on. Many studies have looked at whether peanuts and peanut butter increase this stress or inflammation in the body, and repeatedly, they found they do not. So if you're worried about inflammation, there's no need to stay away from peanut butter. And just as today's author, Natalie, mentioned, when choosing a peanut butter or almond butter, or really any other food, find those that don't have any trans fat and are limited in sugar and artificial ingredients. All right, that'll do it for today. I'll be back here tomorrow for our usual Friday Q&A, so definitely stay tuned for that, where your optimal life awaits.